Afraid, emotions getting in your way. Afraid, but why you let me fall in love if you're afraid to commit? And don't call me in the middle of the night and say that you're not able to be loved. That's not right. No, I don't wanna be that one. Still a million miles from you, so I'm gonna let you go. Oh boy, if you only knew, not a day goes by without you on my mind. You couldn't go on together. You said nothing lasts forever, though you can't deny. Hold it all inside. No, you can trust me. Just close your eyes, knowing that I'm around. I'll be around. Yeah. You're not scared of love, just scared of love. Alright, alright, enough. Just tell me if you want my love or not, or not. 'Cause I don't wanna be that one. Still a million miles from you, yeah. So I'm gonna let you go. Oh boy, if you only knew, not a day goes by without you on my mind. You couldn't go on together. You said nothing lasts forever, though you can't deny. Hold it all inside. No, you can trust me. Just close your eyes, knowing that I'm around. I don't wanna be that one. No, still a million miles from you. So I'm gonna let you go. You go. Oh boy, if you only knew, not a day goes by without you on my mind. You couldn't go on together. You said nothing lasts forever, though you can't deny. Hold it all inside. No, you can trust me. Just close your eyes, knowing that I'm around.
Tell him I need my money right now. Brought me the juice, they stole out my crown. Yeah. Sorry to tell you, I know my value. I'm gonna recoup, yeah. But don't waste my energy, my energy. I don't got much, don't be wasting all my energy. I keep it tight, don't let nobody get close to me. My heart is right, don't question my integrity. No, I thought we would be just fine, and I thought your heart was like mine. But let me find out, you've been going around throwing shots, running plots. Come on, man, tryna block my blessings, but no need for comparisons. What's from me won't be from me. Yeah, I'ma go through just to grow through. But pay me what you owe me for, I make what you've been saying about me true, true. Tell him I need my money right now. Brought me the juice, they stole out my crown. Yeah. Sorry to tell you, I know my value. I'm gonna recoup, yeah. Don't waste my loyalty. I let you in back then because I couldn't see. But now it's clear you ain't ever been true to me. My intuition ain't ever lied, I had to leave. Handle your business, do what you think you need to do to get your revenge. But but you won't break me, God, that's my witness. Past the point of no return, I'm on a mission. Tryna block my blessings, but no need for comparisons. What's from me won't be from me. Yeah, I'ma go through just to grow through. But pay me what you owe me for, I make what you've been saying about me true. True. Tell him I need my money right now. Rob me the juice, they stole out my crown. Sorry to tell you, I know my value. I'm gonna recoup it. Don't waste my.
She's putting all of her cards down on the table, knowing there's no way that you'll be able to win this one. But she's somebody else in the making. First, she just gotta stop all the faking, and she'll be there. But she's wondering if it's gonna feel like she's forever. Wondering if it's gonna feel like this whenever she leaves her safe space. She leaves her safe space. Wondering if it is forever, or is there some place that will make her feel better? Make her feel better. Then that's where she'll go. That's where she'll go. Somebody said, don't be afraid of loving yourself, 'cause that is all you got in the end. You got in the end. But she's wondering if it's gonna feel like this forever. Wondering if it's gonna feel like this whenever she leaves her safe space. She leaves her safe space. Wondering if it is forever, or is there some place that will make her feel better? Make her feel better. Then that's where she'll go. That's where she'll go. Talking to myself 'cause I don't know what I want. Yeah, I'm here talking to myself like someone's gonna respond. I'm getting tired of myself 'cause I don't know what I want. But I'm not out here on my own. Wondering if it is forever, or is there some place that'll make her feel better? Make her feel better. And that's where she'll go. 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 Talking to myself 'cause I don't know what I want. Yeah, I'm here talking to myself like someone's gonna respond. I'm getting tired of myself 'cause I don't know what I want. But I'm not out here on my own.
Yeah. I want a house in the hills I pay big bills for. I ain't got in pocket. I wanna empty out my wallet. I wanna stop motion, stand still. Wallace and Gromit. I wanna talk more endlessly. I wanna neurotically vomit. I want more dollars from my mama. I want a palace in Prada. I want a Gucci bag where I can store my sorrows and hardships. I wanna gold plate my finance. I want endless tomorrows. I want a lot more than I got right now. But that's the problem. You could give me every little thing I'd ever want, but I'd never have enough till the day I had it all. Yeah, you can give me every little thing I ever want, but I'd never have enough till the day I had it.
Oh, I see what you want, baby, but it might be just a little more than I can give you.
Second thought, I want $1 for everyone, not just for my mama. I want to hit the ball out on random pedestrians. I want my questions to be answered to my brain bored and questionless. I want more self-assurance. I don't ever want to second guess. I want someone to shut the fuck up. Less he trying to tell me yes again. I want so many best friends that I can't tell what friendship is. I want the diamonds, gold, and glitter. I want fast cars I'll never whip. I want it all till I'm empty in my castle of everything.
Oh, I see what you want, baby, but it might be just a little more than I can give you.
I want a cushy job that pay big bills and cheap thrills. Wanna mob out with my homies like Timmy, Tommy, and Dill. I'm not trying to be famous, okay, maybe a little. Since I'm a rapper, I should buy me some grills and gold frills that I can sleep on while I contemplate pills and peep on, hold still. Might sedate you, just a fire at will. I got an appetite for hardship, big fish meets krill. Don't sleep, don't spill, I ain't got my fill. I want the beauty queen to make me show my pearly whites. The type of movie scene that make you count your blessings twice. It's not the only thing that's on my list, I checked it twice and sent it off to Santa's elves like I've been playing nice.
I see what you want. Oh, I see what you want. Oh, I see what you want. But it might be a little more than I can give you.
You broke my heart 1,000,000 times. Can't count the times I made you cry. Oh, we're such a mess now, and we're burning out. I get so sad at the thought of losing you. I can't bear the thought of losing you. I'm losing you.
What's up, y'all?
You're still perfect as the day goes by. Even the worst ones hate, they make me smile.
The contest is back, you guys. Customer service finally got my support and said I had a special problem with my system, but it's fixed now, you guys. Everybody type salute. We got the giveaway at the end of the show. We got the giveaway at the end of the show. Everybody type salute in the chat. Everybody type salute in the chat. The system is working. The system is working, y'all.
Can we be honest? You're my comfort zone. Wherever I say, don't let me go. I know you're angry, babe, and I am cold. I get so sad at the thought of losing you.
Shout out to everybody in the chat. Welcome. I'm glad you guys are here.
I can't bear the thought of losing you.
So glad you guys are here.
The day goes by, even the worst ones hate, they make me smile. I stop the world if it would give us time, yeah, to work things out, to work things out, to work things out, to work things out, yeah, yeah, to work things out, to work things out.
Work things out. Work things out. Welcome, everybody. stuff together here. Welcome. Good morning. Happy Friday. Welcome to Rich People Read. Happy Friday, everybody. I'm glad you guys are all here. Let me get my screens together. Let me get my screens together. We getting ready to read a book. Who reads books live on YouTube? Like, who does that? Right? Who does that? Like, who cares to read a book live? We do. We do. I don't know anybody who makes a lot of money and they don't read. I don't know anybody. You might know people, but I don't know anybody who makes a lot of money and they don't read books. I don't know anybody. So welcome to another chapter of Rich People Read, where we read a book a month to instruct you in the ways of the successful through the power of reading. I'm so glad you guys are here. My name is Shannon Rawls. We are currently reading the Book of Obsidian. We are currently reading the Book of Obsidian. It's a fantastic book. It's a fantastic book. The Book of Obsidian is a manual for the 21st century Black American gentleman. However, it is also a book that speaks directly to Black American women. It speaks to the Black American ladies as much as it speaks to the Black American gentleman. This book is for ladies and gentlemen together. Ladies, you guys can listen to the things that I'm reading in this book, and you could reverse engineer the words to make sure that you become a better person than you currently are today. Tomorrow, after listening to chapter 5, 6, 7, and 8 today, on Friday, you will be a better person tomorrow on Saturday. Without a doubt. And I've never read this book. But based on what I've read so far, it's very helpful. So we're going to knock this out today. Over the past decade, there have been many things said and written about the state of Black love. Some good, and in many cases, mostly bad. No one had the balls to say what so badly needed to be said until now. After more than a decade of the most intense boots-on-the-ground study of relationships and the science of human mating, Mumia Obsidian Ali, one of the founding fathers of the Black Manosphere and longtime podcaster, talk radio host, blogger, and writer, finally weighs in and gives his take. The Book of Obsidian is an unflinchingly honest look at the state of dating and mating in the 21st century Black America. And it ain't pretty. Definitely not for the faint of heart or the politically correct that's so prone to being triggered these days. Ali's book is a hands-on manual that gives today's Black man the tools to navigate the minefields that is Black love today. Read the book if you dare and transform your life. Read the book with us if you dare to transform your life. Welcome, everybody. How's the chat going? Hey, Princessa. What up, Stephen Day? What up, Stephen Day? What's happening? Hayakai is here. Hayakai Ben Israel. My man is here. Let's scroll up. Let's see who else is here. Lakeisha. Hey, you feeling good after the workout this morning? Hope you're feeling better. Hey, Jill. Salute, Jill. What's happening, you guys? Ms. Drea is here. All my favorites. My day ones. They're all here. The chat is growing. We're at 16 people watching this. That's dope. 16 people. Listen, book reading ain't the most exciting thing for some people. Also, most people are mediocre. Most people are average. Book reading is not for most people. It's not exciting. This is not a reality TV show where we're up here fighting and yelling at each other. It's not a drama channel where we bickering and beefing. We don't do that. That's for average people. We're a little bit above average over here. Hate to pat myself on the back, but the people I hang out with, above average. So we do what many would call corny things, like read books. That's all right. That's all right. Most people are mediocre. We don't live in mediocrity over here. We do above average things. And things like reading books is one of the ways to becoming rich. Let's just keep it simple. How else can I say it? Reading books is one of the ways to become rich. And if you're interested in becoming rich, and when I say rich, I do mean knowledge and self-awareness. And I'm talking about your bank account. Yeah, I'm talking about money, you guys. Dollars, currency, Wells Fargo, Chase, Bank of America. I'm talking about your checking account. I want you guys to have as much money in your checking account as possible. And one way to make that happen is to gain the knowledge in order to do so. I want you guys to also have fantastic relationships, whether you're married, whether you're dating, whether you are single and looking for somebody, whether you're working on whether you just got out of a relationship that went bad. Maybe, it went down in flames and you're looking to say, man, some of that was my fault. My last relationship, some of the things that happened in my last relationship was my fault. And I need to do things a little differently than I've been doing them. And so, welcome to Shannon Rawls' channel here at YouTube, where
being number one isn't easy.
Not. Being number one isn't easy. And one way we do it is by reading Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 9 o'clock in the morning, Pacific Standard Time. We are reading the Book of Obsidian. We are reading the Book of Obsidian, and we're currently knocking out chapter 5, 6, 7, and 8 today. We already read chapter 1, 2, 3, and 4 on Wednesday. Monday, we read the acknowledgments and the introduction. Wednesday, we did chapters 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then today, we're going to go ahead and knock out chapters 5, 6, 7, and 8. I want you guys to read along with me. Have you ordered the book? If you haven't, all you got to do is click the link in the description. That link will take you straight to Amazon. You can grab the e-copy. It costs less than lunch. It's like $8 or something like that. You can grab the e-copy of the book right now and have a full copy on your device right now. You can have a full copy of the book right now. It's like $8. Then I also want you to get the physical copy eventually, because you're going to have something to put in the library of your mansion or estate. If you want an estate, those are around 5,000 square feet. If you want a mansion, those are 10,000 square feet or larger. You're going to have a library in one of those, depending on which one you buy. Or maybe you're going to just have a nice laid out condo in Miami. I don't know where you're going to live. Wherever you live, you're going to have a library. So I want you to grab the book. But I'm reading it as well. And I'm going to have it on the screens for you to read. Ladies and gentlemen, we got a super chat. Everybody throw your ones up.
Being number one isn't easy.
C. Anthony Johnson just blessed the channel. He says, salute, my G. This may be my favorite show right now. I am listening to this book and another book this month. My man. See, I talk about this all the time. I've been saying it for decades. Your circle matters. Your circle matters. The people you hang around matters. C. Anthony Johnson is hanging around us. We are hanging around C. Anthony Johnson. Iron sharpens iron. Iron sharpens iron. He could be listening to some hip hop music, right? He could be listening to the Migos right now. Whatever C. Anthony Johnson, whatever my man C. Anthony Johnson is doing right now, he could turn on the Migos and listen to he could turn on Kanye and be doing and just listening to some mindless bullshit and just be, No, but instead he's here he's reading. Because whether you guys read an actual book with your own eyes or whether you listen to it as an audiobook, which is essentially what this channel is. I'm just simply a more animated version of an audiobook. You're still reading. So C. Anthony Johnson would rather read a book than bob his head to the Migos. Shout out to the Migos. But he said there's a time and a place for that. Right now is reading. Shout out to you. Everybody throw your ones.
Being number one isn't easy.
To my man, C. Anthony Johnson. I appreciate you, bro. Thank you for blessing this channel. In fact, you are now the stream sponsor. Let me go ahead and update the stream sponsor. He hit us off with $20. C. Period. Anthony Johnson. He is now burned in to the video. Right along the bottom, I'm gonna have him scroll. So everybody in the future, because this video will be up forever, they'll see that my man C. Anthony Johnson has invested in my channel. He's an investor in this channel. Shout out to you, bro. Thank you for your support, man. Thank you for your support, and thank you for blessing this channel with an investment. I appreciate you. You guys, y'all ready? You ready? We're gonna knock out chapters 5, 6, 7, and 8. I don't even have my book app open. Let me open up my book app. Get my book app going. What was that? I heard some crackling popping. All right, let's go to the Book of Obsidian. Ready to go. Straight to chapter 5. My system is ready to go. Straight to chapter 5. Let's get ready to knock this out, you guys. Hey, Jill. Miss Carrington. Oh, Miss Carrington, do me a favor. Email me. I got to give you access to the back chat. Email me, Miss Carrington. soldiers@shannonrawls.com. Miss Carrington, you upgraded your membership. And when you upgraded your membership, that gave you access to our back chat. So email me, please, to soldiers@shannonrawls.com. That's my email address. And then I'm going to have my assistant send you over the info so you can get access to the back chat. We want you in there. We want you in there. We ready? We ready, you guys? It looks like my system is halfway working. I noticed. Uh-oh. It's my alarm system. It's my alarm system. Let me go put my alarm system on hold. It's watching movement around my humble abode. Just put that on snooze for an hour. All right, cool. Put my phone on mute. Did everybody take their vitamins? Did you take your supplements for today? Everybody take their multivitamin today? You guys see me drink this all the time. That's because I drink. At my age, you gotta hydrate yourself. At 49 years old, you gotta hydrate yourself. And I don't mean guzzling down Mountain Dew, Pepsi, and soda. I drink water, and this is mixed with BCAAs. This is a mango flavor for this month. So I'm knocking out a mango flavor. Last month I did cherry limeade. This month is like a mango. Next month I think I'm gonna do like a blueberry, or maybe like a strawberry banana. I'm not sure. But right now I'm knocking out a mango. Makes it extremely easy for me to drink water. That's BCAAs. That's the letters BCAA. Grab whatever flavor you want. Drop 2 scoops, and you'll be able to guzzle down water, no problem. All right, guys. I appreciate you guys being here. We got 21 people in the chat. 21 people watching. I'm sorry, in the stream. We are getting ready to knock out chapter 5. Let's switch over to our read screen. Hey, here's our read screen. For those that do not have the physical book and do not have an e-version of the book, you can zoom in and watch it. I got the book right here on the screen. If you don't even want to do that, just turn your volume up, put your ear pods in, and listen to your boy Shan. I'm going to read. We're going to read kind of fast. This chapter is short. It's only 15 pages. So we're going to read kind of fast. We're going to knock out 4 chapters today. I'm glad you guys are here. If you're working, just have one ear pod in so you can listen to me, and one out so you can listen to your employees or your boss. You can do 2 things at the same. We can walk and chew gum at the same time. So I want you guys to listen to me while you're at work, and then also have one out so you can listen to what's going on at your job. All right. I appreciate you guys. My man Mike said he got me casted up on the television. He's chilling. He's chilling. See my TV in the back? That's what Mike is doing. You see Mike? He said, man, Shan, I got you. I'm casting you straight up on the big screen, bro. High definition. I'm broadcasting this in 1080p. He said, Shan, I got you up on my big screen. Kick back, bro. Grab you a drink, make a sandwich. Here we go. Chapter 5 of the Book of Obsidian, a manual for the 21st century Black American gentleman. It's good for women too, though. Chapter 5, are Black women fun? Are Black women fun? Let's start it off with, did you sleep on the wrong side? I'm catching a bad vibe. And it's contagious. What's the latest? Speak your heart. Don't bite your tongue. Don't get it twisted. Don't misuse it. What's your problem? Let's resolve it. We can solve it. What's the causes? It's official. You got issues. I got issues, but I know I miss you. Am I supposed to change? Are you supposed to change? Who should be hurt? Who should be blamed? From Aaliyah. The song was We Need a Resolution. You guys remember Aaliyah? Rest her soul. May she rest in peace. Shout out to Aaliyah. What up, RCC? We just getting started, bro. What's up, Christopher? Just getting started. On a recent trip to Dallas, Texas, controversial femininity influencer and social media personality Miss Nicole Michelle had some choice words for the Big D. She said that unlike non-Black women there in Texas, Black women, on the other hand, and on the balance, were unfriendly, refused to smile, and just overall not fun to be around. She then offered a full-throated apology to the Black man of that fair city and gave the Black ladies a grade of D-. This is in Dallas, Texas, from Miss Nicole Michelle. Miss Nicole Michelle is a femininity influencer. Ironically enough, only a few weeks earlier, style and image consultant St. Kevin Samuels had hosted one of his popular MIT, which stands for Men in Training, events. A kind of mashup between Gentlemen's Academy Boot Camp, motivational speaking events, and PAL get-together. In line with his maxim that has gone viral, show your work, he was sure to post pics of the event. There they are. At least a half dozen Black men, suited and booted, accomplished, poised, confident, and ready to take on the world and meet the ladies. Immediately on the heels of the success of his event for guys in Dallas, St. Kevin followed it up with one, his first, for Black women in his newly adopted hometown of Atlanta, Georgia. The event, which came about at the behest of Black women themselves, turned out to be a dud. The very Black women who had badgered and hectored him for months to put something together just for them, not only failed to show up, they didn't even bother to reply to his emails. Needless to say that Kevin Samuels won't be hosting any other events for Black women. Are Black women fun? To ask the question is to answer it. I write this column at an interesting time. It's the final days of 2019, and as many of you know now, I am also in the final days of writing my first book. In that it is aimed at the non-select guy, Generation X Black men like Shannon, who want to date and mate with Black women like Shannon. One would think I would have posed this simple question to myself much earlier on in the writing and book planning process. But as it so often is the case, the truth's best hiding spot is right in plain sight. Over the weekend, I had an epiphany. Of those bolt from the blue moments that I've experienced quite a few times in my life, in fact, and in its particular instance, while doing yet more behind the scenes work on the book, a simple question popped in my head. When you hear the words Black women, does the word fun immediately come to mind? I'll repeat the question. This is for everybody that's listening to this book being read. When you hear the words Black women, does the word fun immediately come to mind? Sidebar. Remember Shannon's 5 F's. What's the last F of the 5 F's? Fit, feminine, friendly, faithful, and fun. What do men look for? Of all socioeconomic statuses, fit, feminine, friendly, faithful, and fun women. High value men, it's non-negotiable, all 5 of them. Fun. I think I'm the only one who even adds fun in the whole list of things that men want. Which is a surprise to me because every man wants a fun woman, right? Anyways, and I didn't even know he had this in the book. This is new to me. I'm reading this for the first time. So shout out to Obsidian for that. But we're all on the same sheet of music when it comes to what women want. A little older, a little longer in the tooth, but we got some wisdom, and that's why we talk about what we talk about at this age to our younger people. All right, let's continue. Thinking long and hard on when you hear the words black women, does the word fun come to mind? Thinking long and hard about this question for at least 15 minutes, I had to say that overall the answer was no. Now, there are certain individual black women I've had a ball with, certainly. But in the main, no. And I think that if you, dear reader, were being as honest with yourself as I was with myself, you will agree. For whatever reason, and they are legion, black women have a well-earned and hard-fought reputation for being anything and everything but fun. Many seem to revel in the mean mugging and having that famous resting bitch face. The tagline, "You can't handle a strong black woman," has become the stuff of a bumper sticker slogan. And the sass that black women are renowned for or notorious for reaches back well beyond when I was born. As the entertainer Miss K. Michelle said in a popularized radio interview earlier this summer of 2019, she not only had high walls to protect herself from getting emotionally and otherwise hurt again in a relationship with a black man, she saw it as a true set of a real black man's mettle to see if he could climb over those walls. And if he couldn't climb over those walls, he's a bitch-ass, bitch-made man. Punk, whom she don't need anyway. Defiant and belligerent, even self-love social media sensation Derek Jackson couldn't talk some sense into her. Imagine that, because they were on that show together back in 2019. You guys should go watch that interview. That's a sidebar. Go watch the interview of Derek Jackson with K. Michelle. It's a video. It's online. It's on YouTube. All you got to do is type in Derek Jackson and K. Michelle, and you will be surprised at how Derek Jackson couldn't get through to K. Michelle. It was a trip to see when it happened. It has certainly opened your eyes today. All right, let's continue. When confronted with these and other clear and present manifestations of the sheer difficulty of being with them, black women have a litany of reasons, excuses, and arguments as to how and why they aren't simply fun to be around. Okay, number one. It's because they've been mistreated in some way by a black man or men in their past, which would include infidelity, domestic and sexual abuse, and so on. Let's keep it real. Some of the reasons why black women aren't fun is because they've been mistreated by black men. We can't ignore that. All right. Number two, it's because of racism. A legacy of slavery in Donald Trump or Brittany Cooper cites these reasons, for example, as to how and why she's obese and simply can do nothing about it. Sidebar. Y'all remember my show on Brittany Cooper? Remember my show on Brittany Cooper? It's in the private section. It's in the member section it's in the war room. I did a war room on her, how she was explaining how the nuclear family can't do shit for the black community. That's the same Brittany Cooper that was saying that racism is the reason why women are fat. Let's continue. A third reason why black women simply aren't fun. It's because that's just the way that she is, and that a real man will be able to handle it. The list goes on. Often there is a black cultural expectation that black men are simply supposed to grin and bear it. The overbearing posture, the antisocial ways, and the downright bitchiness of so many black women, often unwarranted at that. And if you're a black man who breaks rank with such a cultural expectation, there's something fundamentally wrong with you, deserving of withering and unrelenting scorn in the public square. You know something? They're right. I can't handle all of the drudgery that comes with having to deal with far too many black women today, especially those of my generation, Generation X. All right. What I've learned from many years of dealing with the kinds of black women that I'm discussing today is that I do, in fact, have a very low tolerance for issues, attitudes, and digging in their heels like the heifers of so many of them are, and just all around them not being fun and a joy to be around. I'm not built for wrangling with black women like the ones we're talking about today, who make it a point of personal pride to be difficult, bellicose, and a force to be reckoned with. And that you, black man, have some perverted cultural obligation to put up with it. I like easy women. Oh my, Obsidian says, I like easy women. And a growing number of black men like me like that too. Hi, Obsidian. Make jackets, Obsidian. Make jackets. I want to join the club. I'd like to formally cast my request for membership into that club. Enter the SYSBM movement. SYSBM movement. I can tell you what it means, but I'm going to read it right now. Although they appear to be the topic of much raucous and hand-wringing debate on black social media at present, in truth, what would become known as the SYSBM movement, an acronym that stands for Save Yourself, Black Men. SYSBM stands for Save Yourself, Black Men, has been around for quite some time. I've known about them going back at least into the late 1990s. Simply, it is a small but growing and highly influential cadre of American black men deciding to seek mates beyond the confines of Black America and the country itself, traveling as far as Colombia and Brazil, for example, to seek women who are, in a word, more fun to be around. As I write these words, what appears to be the first ever SYSBM manifesto is being hotly debated by the local opposition on black social media, and I would urge the reader to check it out for themselves. SYSBM, the basic fundamentals of the lifestyle. Slayingevil.com, October 21st, 2019. We got to look that up. Everybody go look that up if you get a chance. Perhaps better known is the excellent documentary Frustrated Black American Men in Brazil by self-taught filmmaker Al Grease. You can view it on YouTube for free, and it has a very interesting backstory. It was made in direct response to a series of articles originally appearing in the Essence magazine bemoaning black men for seeking fun women abroad. An interesting discussion can be read about all of this on Lipstick Alley website. Essence article, Blame It on Rio, in August 28th, back in 2006. Eventually becoming a book in its own right, Don't Blame It on Rio, written by Jewel Woods, attempted to paint the black men who traveled to Brazil to chat up with ladies as little more than a depraved philanderers on the make to take advantage of poor little third world women. It couldn't possibly have anything to do with the simple and admittedly depressing fact that many black women, especially those of my generation, Generation X, simply aren't fun. It can't be that, right? I know that was a mix of words in the way I read it, but let me just put it out there like this. It can't just be, you guys want to blame it on Rio. Don't blame it on Rio. A whole book was made as a response to that article in Essence magazine in 2006. Don't blame it on Rio. You think maybe, just maybe, it's because black women weren't fun to be around? You gonna blame it on Rio, but not the black women that it's not fun to be around, especially the black women of Generation X? Just saying. Let's continue. Indeed, a full decade later, many of these same bromides are being brought against the current day SYSBM movement, this time with a woke twist. In a recent muckraking piece appearing on the Black Youth Project website dated November 15th, 2019, how one online community has channeled their misogynoir into the Save Yourself Black Men movement. The article alleges that, unlike the apparent forces that motivated black men a decade ago, which was rooted in supposed sexual depravity, that today black men simply hated black women. Here's an excerpt. SYSBM could be best summarized as a competitive victimhood. Self-described thinking black men view themselves as victims of black women autonomy. It supports a worldview that black men are far more safe being away from them and their alleged dysfunctional behavior, and they could find a peace of mind by dating interracially. For them, this esoteric cabal rationalizes their views about black pathology, their intentional decision to have children with non-black women, and to live abroad or in middle and upper middle class white neighborhoods they call Pleasantville, right? Proponents believe that SYSBM is a growing international movement, but in reality, it's just a regurgitation of unresolved problems of internalized racism and misogyny among black men that has found a home on the internet. That's all it really is. Here's some more that they wrote. Quote, although the supporters of SYSBM view themselves as living their best possible lives and expanding their romantic options, the motto is laced with virulent, misogynistic, and overt anti-black racism. It associates blackness with danger and discomfort and stagnation, whereas whiteness is associated with tranquility and security and upward mobility. Additionally, it endorses conservative talking points by blaming black people's behavior for persistent racial inequality, end quote. And finally, the piece's writer, one Mr. Aaron Fountain Jr., a PhD candidate at Indiana University, sums things up this way. He says, quote, the best way to combat this ideology is for black men to join black women in calling out its logical fallacies. How are black men somehow better off with white women when those marriages have the highest rate of divorce out of all interracial couplings? To which Mad Bus Driver X's response is, so what? Black men as a collective group lack wealth, access to capital, and are less educated than black women. So how can distancing oneself, if even possible, lead to salvation? End quote. Oh man, the shit that I read and learn as I go along. I'm just tripping on some of the stuff I read. Anyways, let's continue. Obsidian says, and why is my screen so dark? Hold on 1 second, guys. Let me adjust my camera. All right. Sorry about that. Let me continue. I should note to the reader that Mr. Fountain uses the words misogynoir, a term coined by black feminists some years back, and which is supposed to mean a particular kind of hatred directed at black women because they're special victims. You see, check out my previous column, The Victim Queen, December 9th, 2019, negromanosphere.com. A total of 4 times, including the title. As is often the case with Black people, Mr. Fountain seems to have found a word he liked the sound of and uses it until the wheels fall off. Also, in the interest of full disclosure, I've reached out to Mr. Fountain to discuss his article. He has thus far declined to comment. From just a few above paragraphs of Mr. Fountain's piece, we can glean enough information that informs something else about Black women's unfun ways that explains quite a few things. Their and our addiction to the beautiful struggle. The Black people's beautiful struggle. The not so beautiful struggle. In a powerful statement made during a larger interview on November 17th back in 2018, author and intellectual Shelby Steele discusses, quote, the shock of freedom, end quote. Steele goes on to explain that for many Black people, the prospect of now being free is a frightening idea. Because for so long, they can always fall back on racism to explain away their own personal failings and shortcomings. Sidebar. Victim mentality. Victim Olympics. Blame everything else except yourself. You are so many people, what he's saying here, so many people are afraid of the prospect of now being free is so frightening because for so long you could fall back on racism as an excuse for your own personal failings. Because you ain't shit, you get to say it's racism. And you're so afraid of being free and prosperous and well-to-do that whenever you screw up, you could say racism. That's what he's saying. Let's continue. Indeed, Steele's point to the recent Colin Kaepernick taking the knee, quote unquote, kerfuffle that held the NFL hostage for a reason. As a case in point, it was never clearly articulated as to what Colin or other Black NFL players were looking to do, other than be, quote, offended and outraged. That's all they wanted. Be careful, Obsidian. Colin is my frat brother. Shout out to Colin Kaepernick. I'm reading, but Colin is my guy. All right, here we go. Even NFL legend Jim Brown weighed in, telling Colin and company that they were going about the whole thing all wrong. As of this writing, there is the ADOS movement pressing its claims for reparations for slavery, as if that's going to solve the problems extant between Black men and women today. It won't, and I strongly suspect many of us know it. But in the face of utter lack of meaningful alternatives to address these problems, the band plays on. Despite their own oft-bellowing claims of living their best life, right? And decrying struggle love, right? In truth, many Black women delight in their struggles. And because Black women culturally set the tone for much that happens in the community, many Black men follow suit. The result is that Black love, such as it is framed in a way that is quasi-political in form and function. For example, take Fountain's quote above about how Black male, non-Black female marriages have a divorce rate higher than all other interracial pairings. Now, I won't dispute that. And if he's honest, if he's as honest a race man as he paints himself to be, especially one that is gunning for a doctorate in history at that, then he would know better than anyone exactly how and why those breakups happen at such a high rate. Too long, don't read. So I'm not going to. I'm going to skip it. One doesn't need to be a formally trained historian to know that the posthumously pardoned boxing legend Jack Johnson was chased out of the country and his wife committed suicide behind all of the sheer racial pressure he got from both white and Black communities. For more on more such evidence of this can be seen in the excellent work Miss Anne in Harlem, The White Women of the Black Renaissance. Gotta get a hold of that. By Carla Kaplan, distinguished professor of American literature at Northeastern University, just in case Mr. Fountain might be reading along. But the problem is that ostensibly Honest guys like Fountain won't point out, as Paul Harvey once famously put it, the rest of the story. May Paul Harvey rest in peace. Hopefully his son, Paul Harvey Jr., is continuing his work. Anyways, let's continue. Well, today, many quote-unquote pro-black types will indeed argue that even in the face of evidence that black marriages not only have a higher rate of divorce, but also domestic violence than interracial ones, that it is important for the race that black men put up with black women and vice versa. This for the race argument, quote, for the race, unquote, argument remains very strong among certain sectors of black American life today, especially online. And when someone like me merely mentions the word fun, it seems as damn near blasphemous. We don't have no time for fun. We fighting the white supremacy. Don't you know it? Ain't no time for fun in the black America. We too busy fighting the white man. But for a growing segment of black men like me, accomplished, self-made, retired, we're not looking for another fight, ladies. We just want to have fun. And it becomes crystal clear, to this writer at least, that in the main, and especially for much of the Generation Xer black female cohorts, fun just is not in their repertoire. It is better to take whatever remaining time you have left and head somewhere else. Your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to go out and have fun. Your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to go out and have fun. Since this entire quote unquote dating coach project is a very personal mission of mine, please allow me to wind all this up on a very personal note that I hope will be helpful to you, dear reader. At age 51, back then, he's 53, 54 now, but when he wrote this book, at age 51, even now very young for a retiree and almost unheard of decade ago when it became official after a career-ending workplace injury after 22 years on the job right out of high school, I'm simply not interested in all the, quote, struggles of black women. I get that this is an offensive thing to say to the ears and minds of quite a few in black American life. I get it. I understand that this is offensive to you. But I gotta tell the truth and shame the devil. I'm tired of the idea that I have to be held responsible for the actions of, as neo-soul singer Music Soul Child once so eloquently put, previous cats. I'm tired of the rationalizations and justifications, not just from so many black women themselves, but from the whole black culture itself as to how and why so many of them are just so difficult to be around. I'm tired of having to, as one of my listeners, Platinum Elite, shout out to Platinum, Platinum Elite put it, chop these hoes. I.e., having to cut through all the layers of defenses just to have a conversation, to enjoy an evening out, to love. I didn't spend nearly a quarter of a century of my life, barely a month right out of high school, to toil away from can't see in the morning to can't see at night, simply to run into another job. I don't want to go to work. Sidebar. This is what that means. I don't want to go to work, hard ass working, dealing with the shit I got to deal with at my job. Remember, he was there 22 years just to go home and work again. Because that's what it feels like, having to deal with the rank and file Generation X black woman out on the market, on the mating market today. Like another damn job, more work. And to be brutally honest, I simply do not want to work that hard. Now, it may be unpopular to say that there may indeed be quote unquote reasons to explain how and why, but the bottom line is that on average, black men, especially of my cohort, Generation Xers, people like Shannon Rawls, who's 49 years old, have a better go of it when chatting up ladies that are non-ADOS. Remember, ADOS stands for African descendants of slaves. Basically, your regular American black chick, the homegirl from the projects, the hood, right? Fucking Inglewood, Compton, Brooklyn. They're easier to holler at, man. They're easier to holler at. They're easier to talk to. And they're more cooperative. They say yes a lot more often than they say no. And if you don't think that's not a problem among a lot of Generation Black women, then go and read one of their most famous among their ranks, Miss Shonda Rhimes, and how she had to train herself to say yes. She had to train herself to say yes more often. I have nothing against Miss Rhimes or the millions of Black women who vibe to her, but I wasn't put on this earth to struggle with Black women like her. That's their fight, their issues, their struggle. And for what it's worth, I wish her and other Black women like her all the best. But it's not mine. Just like so many Black women don't want to build a boo, right? So many Black women don't want a Build-A-Bear, a Build-A-Boo. You want them ready-made, right? You don't want to have to work on nobody. They want an already successful Black man, ready to toll, ready to roll, right out the box, in true plug-and-play fashion. So too do I and millions of Black men like me have zero desire to want a build-a-fun sister. We want one that's plug and play too. And if Black women like Shonda Rhimes aren't ready to roll, we're ready and willing to roll out without you. Chapter. Everybody calls at the wrong time. Why is that? Hold on. All right, that's chapter 5, y'all. Let's move to chapter 6. This is even shorter. This is half the length. You guys with me? You guys with me? Are Black women fun? Are Black American women fun? We just finished the chapter on that. Were any lies told? Were any lies told? If you guys want to talk about it at the end of the show, let me know. I'll pull you up. No one wants a Build-A-Boo. I heard that, Miss Dre. Y'all women been singing that forever. That's a women's mantra. I don't want no Build-A-Bear. See, the things that we've been hearing from y'all women for years, it just was normal. It just was normal. It was just, you know, we just accepted the shit and we just bear and grinned it. That's what he mentioned. He actually said it. We're Black men are just supposed to say, okay. We just, oh, yes, you don't want no Build-A-Bear. I got to come ready, right? I got to be strong, and I got to have a big dick, and I got to have great credit. My teeth got to be straight. I got to have a six-pack. I got to have a job. I got to make $100,000. I got to have all this stuff and just be ready to roll, plug and play. That's what women have been singing for years. You know it. You said it like it rolled off your tongue like it was nothing, right? You know that mantra like you know your social security number. But for men to say, I don't want to build a fun sister. Oh, you grab your pearls. Oh, you clutch those pearls. Did you say that? How dare you? You're supposed to protect me. Protect Black women. You're supposed to help me out. What are you talking about? You don't want to, I got struggles and you got to help me out. That's what you say, but I got to come ready to go. I'm supposed to just deal with that. Were there any lies told and are Black women fun? That's just what I'm saying. Let's move on to chapter 6. The victim queen. How much she hath glorified herself and lived deliciously, so much torment and sorrow give her. For she saith in her heart, I sit a queen, and I am no widow, and shall see no sorrow. Revelations 18:7, King James Bible. Let's continue. The victim queen. I had a chance recently to view a discussion featuring a popular name in the quote unquote Black love business. He was hosting a class, right, where he made the case for his particular take on Black relationships. Near the beginning of his presentation, He briefly told his backstory and said something that perked my ears. He said that he had always seen himself as a, quote, king, and that his concept was central to his method that he was expounding on that day. In that moment, I had an epiphany of Paul on the road to Damascus proportions, and everything was illuminated. A very common notion among many Black people, women and men alike, is that we are kings and queens, right? Everybody says that. Know your worth, queen. Know your worth, king. That's what I say. Know your worth, king. What's up, king? What's happening, king? Oh, man, where's your queen? Oh, is that your queen? That's what we do, right? Let's keep it real. A very common notion among Black people, women and men alike, is that we are kings and queens. It's something that reaches back at least a century and has ebbed and flowed ever since. The idea that we're descended from royalty in Africa and so forth, a truly delusional idea, not moored in the least to reality. While it can be argued that given what Black Americans have been through, including psychologically, it's understandable that we as a people would, concoct a kind of self-defense mechanism to get us over all the events of our painful past in this country. Indeed, we as a people have developed a whole range of behaviors and adaptations to survive the ordeals we faced as a result of racism, discrimination, and worse. Yet, as observers such as Shelby Steele, Dinesh D'Souza, and John Ogbu have noted, behaviors that might have served a useful purpose in the past now threatens not to only hold us back, but also clearly hurts us today. The idea that we are kings and queens, quote unquote, we're all Black people are kings and queens, is something that is deeply antithetical to reality, especially as it relates to our lives as citizens of the most free society on the planet. And the secret to success in such a society is also deeply at odds with the delusion of royalty, the divine right of select fuckboy kings and victim queens. Oh my God, I can't wait to read this. Here we go. My reasoning for, hold on. My reasoning for saying the above can best be seen in the behaviors of those whom I refer to as select fuckboys. You know I talk about those guys, right? That's Pookie and Ray Ray. And victim queens. Regular readers of this column will know well by whom I am referring to with regard to the former. As for the latter, that will be the topic of my discussion today, and in more detail below. In both cases, such Black people honestly believe that they have kind of some sort of divine right to rule. It is even expressed in the classic hit by Tupac, "Only God Can Judge Me," and cited often in a self-righteously defiant tone. Only God can judge me. You say it with some defiance, This sentiment is very strong in present-day Black American culture, though it is nowhere near universally applied. No one explicitly states as much, but this notion is taken to mean that Black women and certain Black men are above reproach. And I say it all the time. I'm never above reproach. Shannon isn't, right? But to say that you're a king and a queen and only God can judge me, only God can judge you? That's it? We can't judge you? The people of your community can't judge you? Your family can't judge you? The people that you've affected can't judge you? Only God can judge you? Okay. Their actions, behaviors, and the outcomes that flow from them simply can't be questioned, especially by those deemed not to be on their level. You ain't even on my level. You can't sit with us. You can't sit with me. So you're not even on my level. So who are you to talk to? Who are you to critique me or tell me anything? You're not on my level, right? A decidedly monarchical view. After all, under such a way of doing things, who can really question the sovereign? Certainly not mere commoners, that's for sure. In fact, and history bears this out, royalty tends to surround itself not with those who are competent and can actually challenge them, but quite the opposite, with sycophants. Yes, men, women, and brown nosers whose only real purpose is to stroke and bloat egos of the kings and queens of the realm, not make life better for all concerned. History's judgment is not kind to this kind of setup. There is a powerful reason why today, out of nearly 200 countries, only 50 of them are still monarchies. Out of 200 countries, only 50 of them are still monarchies and not democracies. And of that number, about half of its constitutional monarchies, which means that the sovereign is merely a figurehead. It's kind of fake. It's just kind of like it's not even real. The real power resides in the halls of the parliament. And that reason is very simple, because kings and queens tend to be delusional, despotic, and dictatorial, among the worst traits of human nature. When one really sits down and thinks about it, this explains quite a bit of the behavioral phenomena of Black American life. How and why certain Black folk act the ways they do. And this has a very real implication for the state of our relationships between each other, Black men and Black women. The curious paradox of the victim queen. Now, for many decades, Black women have done a masterful job of casting themselves simultaneously as queens and victims. On one hand, they are powerful and strong, and these Black women are independent and don't need no man, right? And on the other hand, they're helpless victims of the various iterations of isms. They're victims of racism, and they're victims of sexism, and they're victims of featureism, and now they're victims of colorism, and so on, right? That's on the other hand. They're powerful and independent and strong over here, and then they're victims over here, and save us, help us. Black women love to bellow about their accomplishments on one hand, and equally relish bemoaning their inability to get a Black man on their level due to sheer dearth of eligible suitors. It ain't enough Black men out there. The litany of reasons and causes for this supposed state of affairs is way too numerous to recount here, and seems to grow at an exponential rate. One has to ask, how is it possible to be so assertive and so strong and so independent and be at the whim of the vicissitudes of life all at the same time? This is what I call the paradox of the victim queen. I've personally found out that such Black women, and I put it that way because it has to be said that I am not talking about all Black women, though it's fair to say that it's most Black women do indeed see themselves in this way, like most of y'all, and you guys are listening to me right now. Y'all know who we're talking about. You, we ain't talking about all of y'all, but we're talking about the ones that's listening, right? Seem to be more akin to paper tigress than any powerful beings such as royals in their own right. For example, and it is so often the case of sovereigns in the past, that these kind of Black women tend to surround themselves with Black men who are fundamentally less than they are. And in this way, they can keep up the charade about their plight. However, the reality is increasingly at odds with their delusional worldview. For example, Black men have never done better. More Black men are in and graduating from college than ever before. More Black men are in college than in jail. Fewer Black men are, in fact, going to jail as crime levels continue to drop in America's major cities over the past half century. The Black male unemployment rate is currently at an all-time low in 2019. More Black men are starting businesses and flourishing, and increasingly, Black men are showing up on the jumbotron of life. Social media, really, right? Indeed, today, Black men are on the rise. So much so that, yes, women of other races are in fact watching these Black men closely, taking notice and moving in. All of these facts strongly countervail against the victim queen narrative. Sidebar. One of my personal issues is that in my relationships, in Shannon's relationships, this is a quick sidebar, you guys, is that the women that I tend to date, I hold them accountable where they generally fall apart. I am very hard. I'm hard to deal with because I make people push themselves to be better versions of themselves. I get in arguments with my mother because I push her. I get in arguments with my employees because I push them. I get in arguments with the women that I date because I push them. I've lost relationships because I know how amazing I am, and I want the person that I'm with to be just as amazing. And you know what I've witnessed is that, just like he said in this chapter in the beginning, Black women, I forgot where he wrote it. Black women tend to deal with average motherfuckers because it's easier to be a victim to him because he's just easier to deal with. When you deal with a Shannon, it's hard because Shannon's going to say, what the fuck is wrong with you? Why are you doing that? Why are you asleep? Why aren't you doing this? How come you're not being amazing over there? How come you're not working and you claim that this is what you want, then why aren't you doing it? How come you're not doing the things that you need to do? Why aren't you reading? I could talk to a woman about reading a book and they'll be like, I don't want to do that. And so they can't be with me long. It's just the way it is. And I understand that. And that's just, and if I have to die alone because I can't find a woman that wants to push herself to the highest level of herself, then that's fine with me. I'm okay with that. But that's what I require to be around me. And a lot of Black women don't want to deal with that shit. And so I watch people that I've dealt with romantically go get you ever heard the term a hard act to follow? I'm a very hard act to follow. I am a very hard act to follow. I've watched women go and fuck with other people women that I mess with, go mess with somebody else. And I look at the guy that they mess with and I say, yep, it never fails. It never fails. You can control him. He's a bum. He ain't got shit. He ain't got nothing going on. And he's not going to really push you to be anything. He got a bunch of ideas and dreams and shit like that. He's not really doing much. It happens every time. He wrote about it just now. That is my own personal testimony. I know I'm hard to deal with, but that's only because I require the people that's around me to be top shelf. I require you guys that's watching this YouTube to be top shelf. People think I was real pompous to name my other podcast High Value Shan. No, it was deliberate. It was deliberate that it's High Value Shan. It's deliberate that I'm reading books and we watch movies on Mondays and we work out every morning at 6 o'clock in the morning. Most people, you guys know, don't do that shit. But that's what I require for you to even be in my circle. And Obsidian is talking about it right now. Ladies, pay attention. Let's keep going. The harsh truth is that far too many Black women today suffer from the fragile egos, malignant narcissism, and a need to boss around the Black men. That's what I was talking about. The women that I've dated, they go find a lesser motherfucker so she can boss him around and talk to him crazy because they can't do it to me. And it's like, damn, you can't do that. Where you came from, you was doing that. You met a Shannon and realized it didn't work. And now you have to go back to where you came from because Shannon don't take that shit. And need to boss around Black men. To say nothing of the power and real privilege that comes with being a protected victim in our quote unquote woke age. Stop the madness already. The victim queen has no clothes. Democracy is the non-select guy's best friend. Democracy is the non-select guy's best friend. While it isn't a popular thing to say as a Black American, the truth of the matter is that we have a kind of freedom that is the true envy of the world. Yes, our people have endured unmentionable horrors, injustices, and indignities in the past. But that's just it. It's in the past. And we now have the freedom to determine our futures. Living in a free society means that the non-select guy is not locked into a dating and mating purgatory because of the community. In my previous column earlier this summer, three great kings about being a non-select guy, I illustrated how the American model of democracy had direct application not only to human relationships, but how non-select guys in particular could make best of this model, both by way of his wallet, mirroring the chairman of the House Ways and Means Committee in the United States House of Representatives, and by his veto power, mirroring the power of the president. In the old world, arranged marriages and the like were common, right? In Black American discussion circles, online and offline, romantic notions of the same, along with rose-colored ideas about polygamy and polyamory, abound. And my personal favorite, the oft-repeated phrase, stay in your lane, have massive appeal. I can personally attest to pissing a lot of Black folk, men and women alike, off because I dared to choose for myself who I want to date. Bed down, yes, and even love, despite the chagrin and their view that I had a place. Such archaic notions of mating are for previous primitive and obsolete era. Today, in a free society where people talk to each other and associate based on shared values, we are free to find our own mates and, by extension, happiness. Kings and queens be damned. The truth is that there are many kingly and queenly Black folk who are non-select guys placed to be the cleanup men of the community, to be the worker bees, the mentors, the janitors, and the mates as needed to the growing number of de facto Black spinsters and baby mamas in our society. This is precisely why one can hear a rising chorus of consternation from both Black women and men on the topic of NSGs heading off for greener dating and mating pastures. However, these folk didn't get the memo that we don't live in a monarchy. We live in a democracy where everyone, non-select guys included, get to have a say in how they will live their lives. No matter how much they may not like it, both victim queens and the select fuckboy kings have to talk to those whom they disagree. They have to be held accountable for their actions, and they have to be made to understand that the age of royals is past. We, the non-select guys, are here to help. Let freedom ring. Ladies and gentlemen, that is chapter 6. Moving on to chapter 7. Chapter 7 is even shorter. Chapter 7 is even shorter. Chapter 7 is Black America confirms the 80-20 rule is real. Do you guys know what the 80-20 rule is? Do you guys know what the 80-20 rule is? Are you guys with me? Hopefully you guys are with me. We are reading the Book of Obsidian. We're knocking out today chapters 5, 6, 7, and 8. We read chapters 1, 2, 3, and 4 on Wednesday, and we read the acknowledgments and the introduction on Monday. But today we're knocking out 6, 7, and 8. We just finished 6 and 7. We just finished 5 and 6. We're reading 5, 6, 7, and 8 today. I'm sorry. We just knocked out chapters 5 and 6, and now we're getting ready to knock out chapter 7, which is shorter than the previous two. Black America confirms the 80-20 rule is real. Learn about this, ladies and gentlemen. I know what the 80-20 rule is to you. You're getting ready to learn now. I appreciate you guys for being in there and hanging out with me. I appreciate you guys for being here and hanging out with me. I see the chat moving. I see the chat moving. All right, here we go. Once you have eliminated the probable, whatever remains, however improbable, must be the truth. Sherlock Holmes. Black America confirms the 80-20 rule is real. 5 years ago, on the Oprah Winfrey Network, the television show Fix My Life, hosted by self-help guru Ayanna Van Zant, featured 6 Black men who sired some 78 Black children with 50 Black women. 6 Black men had 78 Black children with 50 Black women. Despite Ayanna's serene assurances of no heat, no judgment, the spectacle had to be seen to be believed and generated lots of feedback and, of course, drama, which is the lifeblood of Black women today. Drama. For many, This episode of Ayanna's show and the episodes to follow were nothing short of shocking. For the denizens of Black Manosphere, however, not only was it all par for the course of modern day Black American life, it only confirmed what so many of us had long suspected, that there was a small pool of Black men who were not only having sex with a much larger pool of Black women, but they were making babies with them too. You starting to learn what the 80-20 rule is? It's what we imagined, but was confirmed. That there was a small pool of Black men who were not only having sex with a much larger pool of Black women, but they were making babies with them too. This is known as the 80-20 rule. Ayanna's show depicted an utterly unique, bizarre, and profound aspect of Black American society that has been going on since the 1970s and reached a high point at the turn of the 21st century, that of unprecedented explosion out of wedlock births to Black women. And while the aforementioned rule has been an established principle and talking point, there hasn't been smoking gun proof until now. By the way, I just want to repeat to you guys, Ayanna Van Zant had a show where there was 6 men. 6 men. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Black men who had 78 Black children with 50 Black women. 6 dudes. All y'all women that talk about how you hate Black men, niggas ain't shit, blah, blah, blah. You ain't talking about us. You talking about 6 of us. 6 had 78 kids and turned 50 women into baby mamas. 50 women into 6 dudes turned 50 women into baby mamas. And you sitting around talking about Black men. No, you talking about them. Anyways, let's go. I take that to heart because I didn't have children until I got married, and I didn't have my first son until 42 years old. I had enough discipline through my 20s and 30s, despite having sex, to make sure that I did not create a baby mama. But y'all sit around and judge. Anyways, we're going to keep going. Let me stop. Let me keep going. All right. Sorry, Obsidian. Sorry. The 80-20 rule defined and explained. Here we go. Did I just get a super chat? Shout out. We got a super chat, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Donnie Mack. Mr. Donnie Mack came in with a super chat. I'm glad I froze. Hold on. Let me throw it up. Let me throw it up. Ladies and gentlemen, we got a super chat. It came in. Cancel that. Go to my stream sponsor. Wait. Oh, I'm tripping. We already got a stream sponsor. See, I forgot. C. Anthony Johnson is here. He laces with 20. So I just want to shout out this super chat. I'm sorry. Let me throw it up on the screen. Mr. Donnie Mack says she had a special episode with one Black man who had 34 children and 17 Black women. One Black man had 34 kids with 17 baby mamas. And here I am going through my 20s and 30s with no children because I didn't want to turn a woman into a baby mama. But I'm judged based on his fucking actions. Shout out to my man for the $5 super chat. Everybody throw your ones.
Being number one isn't easy.
Everybody throw your ones up to Mr. Donnie Mack. Thank you, bro, for supporting and investing in this channel. I appreciate you. Let's talk about the 80-20 rule. Explain. Now, before we take a deep dive into the numbers, we need to get clear on what exactly is the 80-20 rule. In my view, it is this: a society where Black women's sexual preferences, decisions, and choices are freed up from traditional social mores, cultures, and laws, while at the same time, said preferences, decisions, and choices are assisted by laws, culture, medical technology, and have the ability to be self-supporting economically. 80% of Black women will gravitate towards 20% of conspicuously sexually attractive Black men. 80% of Black women want 20% of the sexually good, fine Black men. Because Black women no longer need a non-select man in our brave new world, they are free to choose only the most sexy select fuckboys with whom to mate. And as Ayanna Van Zant show references above, and the numbers will show below, quite a few Black women do it. The 80-20 rule has been anecdotally observed in current day Black America for decades. We saw it, but we didn't have the numbers. We saw it. We kind of knew it. Like, damn, who's all these niggas that's having these babies? It wasn't like you look around, you see your boys. Like, we don't have a kid. Who's having that? Nigga had 10 kids by 7 women. He's the one that's running the numbers up, not us. Here we go. Of course, the 80-20 rule is a direct result of success of the sexual revolution of 1960s and the 70s. The second wave of the women movement of the same period, Roe versus Wade, the pill and more. Real quick, we got to shout out to Brooklyn GQ. Everybody throw your ones up to
Being
Brooklyn
number
GQ.
one isn't easy.
He says, salute, Shan. I'll catch the playback. For sure. This is a good one. These chapters are a good one. Tap back in with us, Brooklyn. I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for your support of the channel, man. Thank you so much for your support of the channel. And thank you, soldiers, for hitting them with a 1. Look at all, I didn't even have to say much. You guys already hit it. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys. And thank you for your support. All right, let's continue. Oh, I want to change the color of my logo. Hold on a second. I meant to change it to white. All right, there we go. Before I go further, let me make clear my view that I do not think that going back or turning back the clock and so forth will make things better for either Black women or Black men. For all the laments of my bros in the Black Manosphere about the seemingly out of control abortion rate, sky high out of wedlock birth rate, and incredible divorce rate in modern day Black America, the simple truth of the matter is that few of us Black men really want to go back to a time when the price of knocking them boots was a shotgun wedding. To be sure, all of the movements, technological and social, legal developments of the 60s and 70s created as many problems as they solved. But on a whole range of measures, life has been better for Black people as a result today. The problem, as always, is that all things entail trade-offs. The 80-20 rule is one of our trade-offs, you guys. For all the advance on social and technological advancements that we have, all the freedoms that we have today, you got to give something to get that stuff. And one of the things that we had to give is this 80-20 rule. The Black 80-20 rule, empirically verified. Recently on my live talk radio show, my special guest, up-and-coming Black male YouTuber King Sigma, and I noted something while reviewing some data from the excellent website blackdemographics.com. I hope everybody goes to check out blackdemographics.com. We found that as of the year 2013, only 33% of Black women who had children did so while they were married. Moreover, only 26% of Black women are, in fact, married. Only 1 in 4 Black women are married. 1 in 4. 4 women standing in the room, Black women, 1 is married. The other 3 ain't. Right? Which works out to 1 in 4, a number cited by noted Harvard scholar Dr. Alvin Poussant years prior. That means that the overwhelmingly majority of Black women who do have children are in fact baby mamas. Again, per Black demographics, 67% are baby mamas, not divorcees, not widows, but straight up had sex with somebody and had a baby and didn't require a hand in marriage. Just a straight up baby mama. Because women, you guys create baby mamas. You make yourself a baby mama. You have the power to do so. But wait, there's more. According to both the U.S. Census and the Centers for Disease Control in Atlanta, Georgia, not only are a majority of Black men single and childless, but the biggest cohort of confirmed bachelors over 40 are Black men. It raises the inevitable question in light of all we've learned thus far. Exactly who are the Black men that are making all these damn babies out of wedlock with these Black women? Wait a minute. If the CDC and the U.S. Census is saying that Black men are by and large childless, so we got so many Black baby mamas, who the fuck is making these baby mamas? Who the fuck is having these kids? What Black men is doing this? It ain't hard to figure it out. It ain't hard to figure out, y'all. It ain't hard to figure out. If roughly 52%, and today it's 54%, if in 2019, roughly 52% of Black men are single and childless, and another roughly 30% of Black men are married, that means let me say this slowly. That means less than 20% of Black men who are making the babies out of wedlock are making them with Black women. Less than 20% of Black men who are making all the babies out of wedlock are making them with Black women, which proves that the Black 80-20 rule is actually real. A summary and implications. With the evidence having been presented and the matter empirically settled, we do now have to ask, what does all of this have to do with a weekly dating column focused on the non-select Black man today? Well, it should be obvious. The so-called select guys have been on quite a tear over the past few decades, having fun, loving, and leaving Black women. Or is it pumping and dumping them, right? That's what they call it. And leaving a trail of Black babies in their wake. And of course, the unspoken assumptions, expectations, is that we non-select guys, the ones that the women don't want, right? You understand? Sidebar. Everybody understands select and non-select? Everybody understands select and non-select? Dude in the gym is the dude with the six-pack, is the dude that's charming, and he got the Gucci belt on, and he's that nigga. That's who the select guy is. That's the ones that the women select. That's the guy that 80% of the women are chasing after. Because, you don't need a man. You don't need the non-select guys anymore. Technology, you got the police, you get your own house, you got your own job and shit. So you guys are good. Ladies are good. So what do? You fuck the select guys. That's who you want. That's who you chasing after. That's who you in the club hoping to buy you a drink. That's who you go home with. Although he's fucking you and all your friends, that's the select guy. The non-select guy is the average man, is the guy that you guys are not selecting. The non-select is the nerd. The non-select is the guy with a good job, but a stable job. But it's not maybe $100,000, but it's stable nonetheless. The non-select guy is the guy who may not be so physically attractive. Maybe he's a little overweight. Maybe he looks like Shannon and he's not all that super handsome, right? The non-select guy is the guys that the women don't select. We understand that now? So I just want to be clear so you guys understand when he mentions in this book, select and non-select, that's what he's talking about. All right. I'll take it from the top. With the evidence having been presented and the matter empirically settled, we now have to ask, what does all of this have to do with the weekly dating column focused on the non-select, this weekly focus on the non-select Black man today? Well, it should be obvious. The so-called select guys have been on quite a tear over the past few decades having fun and fucking and leaving black women and leaving a trail of black babies in their wake. And of course, the unspoken expectation is that we non-select guys are supposed to pick up the pieces from these niggas that y'all been having sex with. The guy, the popular guy in school, or the hood nigga, right? This non-select guy, the nerds, are supposed to pick up the pieces, wife up the baby mamas and alpha widows of these select fuck boys, which of course includes, as R&B crooner Joe puts it, doing all the things your man won't do. Oh, I remember that song. The non-select guys are supposed to do all the things that your man won't do. We pick up the pieces. Traditional courting, being understanding of her travails and drama of dealing with said select fuckboys, and again, taking on her brood. What is rarely mentioned is exactly what do we get out of the deal, and for good reason, because the unspoken assumption is that since we're non-select, we're supposed to just be happy that we get something. You know, we're not supposed to ask for nothing. We just happy we got you. The non-select guy is supposed to just be, oh, good. Well, at least we got you. Thank you. I'll take care of your babies. And, just please make sure your multiple baby daddies don't, I'll be that sucker. That's what happens. After you done gave your best years to them niggas, we supposed to pick up the pieces. Right. Wrong. Not no more. While there has been a lot of hay made by black women in both white mainstream and black vagina vision media over the past 30 years about eligible black man shortage, in truth, there is a very real eligible black woman shortage, as the numbers above make clear. And the point of today's column, aside from presenting the facts on the matter, is that no non-select black man here has to take up a used, stressed, problematic baby mama. No non-select black men here has to take a used up, stressed out, and problematic baby mama. Indeed, if the choice comes down to the aforementioned and living out one's days as a celibate, I, for one, will happily embrace the latter. I won't fuck. I just won't have sex. I'll be cool without it. I, for one, will happily embrace the latter, and you should too. As our greatest president, Abraham Lincoln, once famously said, it's better to be alone than to keep bad company. And that is chapter 7, ladies and gentlemen. That is chapter 7. And here's our last chapter. Has anybody heard any lies yet? Has anybody heard any lies yet? Have I read any lies? Now you guys know what the 80-20 rule is, right? 80% of the women want 20% of the men. 20% of the men is ripping and running for the last 20, 30 years, ripping and running through women, having the babies and leaving the cornball, right? The corny dude, the nerd dude, the guy that went to college and wasn't a jock. He was the engineer, the coder. You left him to pick up the fucking pieces. And then when he says, now, you know what? That's not a good deal for me. You guys somehow shame him. You say, oh, what's wrong with you? A real man to take care of a baby. What's wrong with me having a baby? Nothing's wrong with you having a baby. Why don't you marry the nigga that you had a baby with? Why are you here? Oh, well, he don't want me. Then what the? Seriously? Anyways, now y'all know what the 80-20 rule is. Now you know what the 80-20 rule is. I hope I'm teaching somebody. I hope this channel is helping some people understand some shit. That's the whole point of us having a book club. Let's continue with chapter 8, and this is it. Let's finish up chapter 8. We're reading faster than normal. Thank you, Obsidian, for such an easy read. Chapter 8. The Activism and Hypocrisy of Black Women Mating Choices. The Atavism. I've never heard that term, Atavism. Do you guys mind if I run to Google real quick before we get started? I want to look up Activism. Activism. I never heard of that term. Activism, a tendency to revert to something ancient or ancestral. Recurrence of traits of an ancestor in a subsequent generation. Oh. Shout out to Obsidian for teaching the brother a new word. Atavism, a tendency to revert to something historical. A tendency to go back to the past. A tendency to revert to something ancient or ancestral. Recurrence of traits of an ancestor in a subsequent generation. Shout out to Obsidian for teaching the brother a new word. I like that. I'm sorry. I'm just, you know, I like to read and I like to learn shit. People say, Shannon, you act like you know it all. Yeah, I do. I kind of do. You think you always right. I kind of am. I don't argue about stuff that I don't know. So if I'm arguing with you, you're wrong. It's that simple. If I'm arguing with you, you're wrong. Because I don't argue if I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. And by and large, motherfuckers be like, okay, well, you right. Yeah, I know. Remember that after the 10th argument, you should probably just say, you know what? I'm arguing with Shannon. So I should probably just listen. Because he probably ain't saying something he don't know. That's just my life. But you get some people who so hell-bent on themselves and not willing to learn that they think that they're going to win the 15th argument after losing 14 before that. It's weird. So thank you, Obsidian, for teaching me that new word, activism. The next time I hear somebody use it out of context, I'm going to check them. All right, here we go. The activism and hypocrisy of Black women's mating choices. First, they ignore you. Then they laugh at you. Then they fight you. And then you win. Mahatma Gandhi, one of the most powerful men to have ever lived, if not the most powerful man to have ever lived. All right, here we go. The activism and hypocrisy of Black women's mating choices. For decades, as long as I can remember, Black women have not only enjoyed a virtual monopoly on the public square when it came to the conversation on dating and mating issues in Black America, aided and abetted by white mainstream media, academia, and Hollywood, and in more recent years, an ever-increasing industry of what I refer to as Black vagina vision media, right? Black women have effectively been able to convince everyone that their woes in love owed a lot more to the forces and circumstances completely beyond their control than anything within it. Hardly a year went by without all manner of books and papers and symposiums and seminars and the like featuring Black women bemoaning their romantic fates due to grandiose things such as mass incarceration, the drugs wars of the 80s, through to the early 2000s, Black men supposedly being on the down low, and the glut of Black men who simply couldn't get their act together. Of course, if all else fails, Black women and their numerous advocates in the media, white and Black, can always fall back on that old saw about there being some 2 million more Black women than Black men. Isn't it interesting that no one ever bothers to question the assumption, the entitlement implied in this argument? Who told any Black woman that they were owed a mate? And isn't it all fascinating that we simply assume that all Black women are in fact worthy of a mate? Anyways, that's another sidebar. For so long, these and other bromides were taken as a given. No one even tried to question these notions until the Black Manosphere came along. I'm not part of the Black Manosphere. I think you have to be invited. I know I talk a lot of their sidebar. I know I talk a lot of their talking points. But people say, Shannon, you're part of the Black Manosphere. I'm like, I don't think so. I mean, I agree with pretty much everything they say, but I'm not actually a part of it, right? So until the Black Manosphere came along, The Black Manosphere strikes back. Depending on who you ask, what became known as, quote, the Black Manosphere got its start on still nascent social media roughly a decade ago, around 2008 or so, right? Or it really got ahead of steam roughly just 4 years ago, around 2015. Either way, the aforementioned social media combined with the increasing availability of smartphones, podcasting, and related communication tech made it possible for Black men to communicate with each other, not just nationwide, but around the whole world. Like Obsidian personally has listeners and readers throughout the European Union, United Kingdom, Canada, the Pacific Rim, so on and so forth. Black men were finally able to not only trade notes with each other, but when it came to their dealings with Black women, they were also able to discuss these matters with the white version of the manosphere. They're finding that their experiences overlap in various points. White and Black manosphere talking points, or issues rather. Most importantly, the Black Manosphere came along at a time when the Academy was beginning to release data and statistics that would prove to be seismic threats to the woe is me Black female narrative, right? The numbers was coming out, you guys. Sidebar. Stats and data started coming out that was challenging the woe is me Black woman narrative. Armed with this powerful confluence of timing, tech, testimony, and data, the Black Manosphere has not only been able to clap back in response to the aforementioned narratives, but has put forth a powerfully convincing counter-argument that, even as I write this, steadily erodes the narrative that Black women have gotten a lot of gas out of more than a generation. One by one, Black women's shop-worn narratives began to fall apart in the face of incontrovertible evidence, leading up to a powerful truth that, try as they might, Black women are in a losing fight to deny. Today, a growing group of Black men, dedicated, talented, and focused, are now seeing to it that their voices, once marginalized by both the white mainstream and Black vaginal vision media, are being heard. Black men are finally being heard. Black men are finally being heard. They've succeeded in building up their own networks, host their own shows, and write their own articles and books where they give their side of the story to the many things that so many Black women have said loathe these many years, often totally unchallenged. Nobody challenged it, but now Black men have a voice. Finally, Black men have a voice so we can fix our problem in our community. It was a lopsided argument. Only one person had a megaphone. Only one person had a microphone. Only one person had the podium. And now you're hearing it from both sides, so we can work this shit out and get it together, ladies and gentlemen. I'm all about us getting it together in wonderful, strong relationships, whether it's Black man with a white woman, Black man with an Asian woman, Black man with a Hispanic woman, or Black man with a Black woman. Whether it's a Black woman with a white man, a Black woman with an Asian man, a Black woman with a Hispanic man, or a Black woman with a Black man. Let's get these relationships together, ladies and gentlemen. The gig is up, ladies. I say it all the time. The onus is on women. Y'all hear me say that all the time. The onus is on women. The gig is up, ladies. 3 glaring examples. We need only look to 3 major areas that we have been led to believe that Black men writ large were coming up short in the eligible mate market for Black women, that they have now found out to simply be not true. They are as follows. Is everybody paying attention? I'm getting ready to continue. I want everybody to pay attention. Hey, Lakeisha. Good workout this morning, love. Hey, A to Z Health. Throw your ones up. I appreciate you. Miss Carrington, clap, baby. All right, here we go. These are three things that's been said by the sisterhood for 3 decades or more, that we found out now that the data and stats is coming out and men have a voice simply ain't true. What's number one? All right, Mike, I got you, boss. Here we go. Number one is that they say that there's not enough black men on the level as black women. Not enough black men are on the same level as black women. False. False. Not true. Not true. According to Howard University Professor Ivory Tolson, famed documentary filmmaker Jenks Morton, and the excellent online resource blackdemographics.com, I'm going to read this slow, y'all. Not only do more black men attend and graduate from college today, there are actually more of them doing so than at any other point in American history. On top of that, and again, contrary to the sullied opinion that black female advocates have been pushing for decades, the gap between degreed black men and degreed black women is not at all as large as we're erroneously led to believe. Among those who have attended college, the figures show that for black women, it is 57% versus black men at 50%. And for black Americans with a bachelor's degree or higher, for black women, it's 22% versus black men at 19%. Now, if you want to get anal about it, yeah, in absolute hard numbers, more black women have either been to college or hold degrees than black men. But the actual numbers show and prove that it is much narrower than we were led to believe. Moreover, black men make on average more than black women. I'll repeat it again. Moreover, black men make on average more than black women, even when controlling for educational attainment, which, as we've already seen, is quite high these days. In fact, the highest earning black men relative to black women live in the following 5 cities: San Diego, Seattle, Denver, Phoenix, and Minneapolis, St. Paul, in that order as of 2017. Not only that, but black men have never done better economically, as the Trump government stats bear out. And then there's this quote from the Atlanta Black Star: 6 persistent myths about black love debunked. 1, the forecast is not nearly as gloomy as portrayed by the media. Black women may graduate from college more than black men, but that doesn't mean they always bring home bigger paychecks. That just means they got a degree on the wall. Yeah, you went to school. Yeah, you graduated, but you just got a degree on the wall. What you doing with it? What kind of degree did you get? I've been saying it for 30 years. When I first heard it in the 90s, a basket weaving degree. How many of you guys went out there and got we were saying this in the 90s. Did you get a degree in basket weaving? Did you learn how to basket? Did you get a doctorate in basket weaving? And you could weave the best baskets there are. And now you got that degree on the wall. What you going to do with it here in America? In fact, black men are more likely than black women to bring home at least $75,000 a year. Additionally, the number of black men earning at least $250,000 annually is double that of black women. The numbers suggest there are more than enough financially successful black men to go around. Number 2, Too many black men are players, want to play the field, and don't want to commit to a woman and a family. Wrong. Where's my sounds at? See, I gotta start using my sounds. Wrong. I forgot I had these sounds. Too many black men are players and want to play the field and don't want to commit. Wrong. According to an NPR poll conducted back in the summer of 2013, it shows that black single men were much more likely to say they're looking for a long-term relationship than single black women. Something that is verified by the fact that as of 2017, nearly 500,000 more black men are married than black women. And before any sister out there screams, swirling, he's marrying white women, that's only because they're marrying other people instead of black women. Let's also consider the fact that 48% of black men who have ever married, 85% of them married a black woman. That leaves 15% for all others. 85% of men marry black women. I need to learn my sounds. Ooh, that's my slap sound. Heartbeats. Black men love black women. 85% of them are marrying black women, leaving only 15% to the others. So when you see that black men are marrying more than black women, don't say that it's because they're marrying others. They're marrying black women. And as far as I'm concerned, that's okay. Swirling is okay. Go marry a white woman. Go marry a white man. The point is, black men are more married than black women. Why you guys are out there saying that we just want to play the field. We don't want to play the field. We want relationships. We want legacy. We want a family. That's what we work for, right? Debunked. Let's go. Now, let's consider the old saw that black men writ large like to bun and run. Yet another myth conjured up by Black Vagina Vision media that simply is not true. According to the CDC, black men are the best. I talk about this one, the 2013 report from the CDC that black men are the best dads of all in America. Whether they are to be custodial, whether they're married or not, a fact that was headlined in the New York Times. I tell y'all, it was the New York Times that did the report. It was the New York Times that they did their article 2 years after the CDC released the numbers. It was mind-blowing. And we only talk about it today. 2013, a report came out that said black men are the best dads in America. Nobody picked up the fucking report. Nobody did an article, did the news on that until 2 years later, New York Times, some columnist decided to write about it. And then it wasn't for another 4 years that we even talk about it. Why wasn't that big news in 2013 when the numbers came out? Why wasn't it big news that black men were the best dads in America in 2013 when the report was released? You know why? Because the media don't want you to hear that. The sisterhood don't want you. He calls it black vagina vision media. I call it the sisterhood because it's all rolled up in one. The sisterhood don't want you to know that black men are the best dads. The sisterhood don't want you to know that Shannon is an amazing father, as evident as told by the women in my children's lives. I ain't making it up. They say that. My mother, both grandmas say it, and the mom. Come on. As backed by the CDC report of 2013, which wasn't reported on until 2015, which wasn't talked about until 2019. Let's get back. In fact, only a relatively small minority of black men ain't shit. Niggas ain't shit. Black men ain't shit, right? That's what you heard. That's what we hear. That's what we've been told. That's what women have been screaming and saying to us year after year after year after year through the 60s and the 70s and the 80s and the 90s. I've heard it myself growing up, becoming a man, when I was in the army, when I was in college. Niggas ain't shit. Men, you black men, you ain't shit. You ain't shit. You know what the reality is? You know what the reality is? Only a relatively small minority of black men ain't shit when it comes to meeting their normal and fiscal responsibilities to their children. A small minority of black men for that, for reasons we'll get into in a bit, but a large number of black women seem to can't get enough of until it's way too late. Yeah, a lot of y'all women love dating and fucking these dudes until he impregnates you. Then all of a sudden, he ain't shit. You knew he wasn't shit before you got with him. Summer Walker. You knew he wasn't shit before you had his baby. And now you singing songs called Sierra's Prayer. Man, y'all don't get me started. Next page. Number three. And finally, there's the idea that black men are dropping dead left and right, thus creating this massive dearth of alive black men to go around for the many black women who want them. That's wrong. Black men are dying. It's not enough of them. They're just dying left and right. Black men are just dying in the streets. The streets are riddled with black men bodies. There's no black men left available for us sisters. Wrong. While it is true that women generally outlive men worldwide, and this remains true in Black America itself, the gap has actually narrowed massively over the past century. For example, a century ago, the average lifespan of a black man in the United States was 33 years old. Damn. 100 years ago, the average lifespan of a black man in America was 33 years old. Today, it's doubled that at 72. If you make it to 72, if you make it past 72, congratulations, brothers. Congratulations, brothers. Put that together with the aforementioned fact that one, violent crime of all kinds has actually gone way down since its historic highs from the 70s through the 90s, and the fact that today there are actually more black men in and graduating from college than in jail, the data is undeniable. There are far and away more black men educated, wanting relationships, and economically viable to carry a relationship in and of itself for black women to choose from. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. More black men than ever are educated. I need some more sounds. See, I got the police. Wait, I like this one.
Welcome to the real world.
Okay, so there you have it. More black men are educated.
You can't handle the truth.
More black men are successful.
You can't handle the truth.
And more black men actually want relationships than was previously believed.
You can't handle the truth.
So if that's true, then why aren't black women choosing these men? Why aren't black women choosing these men? Confession is good for the soul, ladies. Come on. Bring it in. Come on. Come on. Give me spirit fingers. Ladies, why aren't you choosing these men? Why are you ignoring the guy next door? I talked about this on a podcast I was invited on last night. They live next door, ladies. He lives in your apartment building, ladies. He's delivering your Amazon deliveries, ladies. He's the cashier at Target, ladies. Why are you ignoring these black men? That's the ones that you don't see them. You got your blinders on because you're too busy looking for Mr. Hunky, sexy, six-pack dude on Instagram, ladies. You're ignoring these good black men. So now you think there ain't enough of them. There ain't enough of the men that you want because you want everybody to make $250,000. Confession is good for the soul, ladies. I know y'all over there laughing at me. I hear this chat just firing off. Y'all laughing at Shan. That's cool. Y'all over there laughing at your boy. You can find them, Drea. Stop. They in this chat, Drea. They right here. They right in front of you. They right in front of you. All right, let's go. I'm gonna go back and read this chat later. I remember a time not too long ago when black men raising up their voices in response to so many black women that black men ain't shit. Diatribe saying that the main reason as to why so many black women got burned was due to their things with playing with fire. You know, select fuckboys who would be derided as haters and jealous. If a black man pushed back on women back in the day, they would be haters. When women say, "Oh, these niggas ain't shit," and if you was like, "What are you talking about?" you was considered a hater, right? You was considered a hater. That's what black men was considered haters. That's why a lot of them went silent. It's like, what the fuck? What use is talking? What use is what use is giving pushback if you're gonna just hate on me? And then we had no way to talk to each other. They were jealous. They were insecure and whiny. And black women would just deny what black men across the internet was saying was true. That's what you guys was doing. If we said that when women said niggas ain't shit, black men ain't shit, and we was like, what are you talking about? That's because you paying attention to the rappers. You paying attention to, no, what about the homie that lives in your neighborhood? You don't even see him. He's not even counted. You just counting these fuck boys. And we push back and then you call us a hater for it. Black women and their spokesmen and women would put up a good fight. Derek Jackson. But the deluge of good brothers telling the truth was too much to hold back. So they stopped trying to deny the obvious and turned to the wholesale shooting the messenger, gaslighting the good guys. You shot the messenger. You can see that in Clubhouse. You can see that in Clubhouse right now. That's why I got 18,000 followers in Clubhouse. I was preaching to people all last year. I haven't logged into Clubhouse in 3 weeks. Why would you leave 18,000 followers in Clubhouse, Shan? Because the conversations over there, you guys just don't understand. I'm glad to be here at YouTube. Thank you. Thank you for welcoming me, welcoming your boy. I should have put all the time that I put at Clubhouse over here at YouTube last year. Anyways. So they stopped trying to deny the obvious and turned to wholesale shooting the messenger, gaslighting the good guys, putting them on trial and blaming them for how and why ladies just couldn't keep themselves by hooking up with one loser after the other. As the leadoff quote from the great Gandhi said, first they tried to ignore the Black Manosphere. Then they laughed at the Black Manosphere. Then they fought back with the Black Manosphere. And now the Black Manosphere is going to win. Since you ladies are fighting, not you ladies in my chat, by the way, by and large, the women in the chat, they get it. I just want to be clear. Let me see who's in here. Princessa, Lakeisha, Miss Drea, Miss Carrington. These women get it. I ain't talking to them. So I want to put that on record. I want to add that into Court Reporter. Please make sure you can hear me loud and clear. The women on the chat ain't who we talking about. We talking about the silent ones that just sitting there listening at me. That's not in the chat. I'm talking to you, ladies. That's who I'm speaking to. Since you ladies, you quiet ladies, the ones that's watching this replay that hate what I'm reading, since you ladies are fighting what can only be called a regard action to keep what little of the fig leaf that covers your feral nature from completely falling off, please allow me to propose a friendly compromise. You all confess what really turns your crank and stop scapegoating good brothers, blaming good brothers for merely pointing out the truth, using bullshit excuses for how and why you're viscerally turned on by losers that you having sex with. When you're finally caught cold, busted, and then only when you're about 5 minutes out from your sell-by date, right? When you're about to hit the wall, you want to turn to us to bail you out of the messes that got you in to with the select Pookies and Ray Rays to begin with. And we, the non-select guys, the ones that you guys generally don't select, will be more than happy to go on our merry way. To leave you with those losers you love so much. After all, there's no point in denying the bleedingly obvious, what we can all see with one good eye. We found that as opposed to the white clients that we've had, Black women are usually looking for physical attributes. Oh my God, Obsidian, I said this. It's weird to hear in a book the shit that I personally observed that I put on Instagram that I got pushback for. I made a post, sidebar, you guys. I made a post on my Instagram page. It had to be a month and a half ago, of what women pay attention to and want the most, despite what we think, Black women particularly. And number one, I wrote the things on the list. It's in the archive of my stories, and you should see the shit pushback I got. But guess what was number one on the list? Looks. The things that most women want, you guys pay attention to what's sexy. I know that you ultimately don't want that necessarily for a relationship because you can look past that. That's why you bring your boys out of the friend zone. But you give a fuck about looks and how sexy he is more than anything. It's weird. It's weird. And I said that a month ago. And here he is saying, we found that opposed to the white clients, white women, because white women don't give a fuck about how sexy he is. Opposed to our white clients, that we found that our Black women, our Black clients, are usually looking for physical attributes first. We look for someone who is attractive to us, and then we pick up on his hobbies and his interests and his values. Whereas our white clients, the white women, are looking for the reverse. What kind of job does he have, is what white women say. Is he going to be able to provide for the family, is what white women say. Then they circle back. Why is it so hard for Black women to find the love they deserve? Essence, November 5th. 2015. I didn't say it. I just saw it. I wrote on my Instagram what I saw and observed myself for the last 20, 30 years. I didn't read that Essence article. I don't read Essence magazine. I ain't never read an article in that magazine in my life. And I didn't read Obsidian's book. But come on. Yo, we got to Snuggles. Hey, everybody. Snuggles says, if you have to make a disclaimer to the people, it means the people you are talking to do not have common sense. It's the same concept as saying not all. That's true. The people I'm talking to, some of them don't have common sense, but we're educating them. Shout out to Snuggles. Everybody,
being number one isn't easy.
In the platform. Thank you, Snuggles, for the $5 super chat. You are absolutely right. Far too many people don't have common sense. That's who, and hopefully they're here to learn some shit. And for the ones that do have common sense, hopefully they're forwarding this to their non-commonsensical friends and family. Absolutely. That's why I have to point that out. And most of them ain't saying nothing. They're not in the chat. They're not going to speak up. They just paying attention. It was 43 people watching. It's really only maybe 15 of y'all that's talking. So I'm talking to the ones that don't have common sense. That's why they're here. That's the purpose of our book club, is to educate. Thank you, Snuggles, for pointing that out. Pointing out the obvious. Let's continue. Shout out to Snuggles. Everybody throw your ones up for Snuggles.
Being number one isn't easy.
She always is supporting this channel. She's always investing in this channel. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. Let's continue. Just accept who and what you are, ladies. Feral, animalistic, and primitive. Ouch, Obsidian. And Black men who most typify these things are what turns you on. Many of you like that me, Tarzan, you, Jane, kind of thing. And as your magazine of record for Miss Thang rightly points out, so many of you ladies really do prize looks and dark triad traits far and away more than you do intelligence, kindness, and honesty. You give a fuck about the bad boy and how he looked more than intelligence, kindness, and honesty, all of which is your right to do. You have that option. Thank God you live in a society that's protecting you to allow that. Just leave us decent guys the fuck alone when you crash and burn. Don't come calling us to pick up your fucking pieces. And which invariably will happen with the mind-numbing predictability. Simply own up to your desires and accept the very high costs that come with your desires. Fair enough? Sidebar. Have you guys seen the video? You know how those kids go on the street and they just ask people random questions? It's like, it'd be a kid out with an iPhone and he got the audio recorder going and he's asking people questions. Did you guys ever see the video that was out? Can somebody find that for me and send it to me? It's the video where the kid is asking, who do you want? The drug dealer, the gangster, or the nerd? Who do you marry? Drug dealer, the gangster, or the nerd? And so he was out like in Hollywood or in Atlanta or downtown, and he was just asking young girls and just asking, so who do you marry? The drug dealer, the gangster, or the nerd? Should I tell you what the women were saying? Should I tell you what their knee-jerk reactions were? Can you guess? Do I need to say it? Do I need to say it? Don't act like, I know the truth hurts. I get it. That's why I give shouts out to the women in my chat, like Kaya, like M. Mills. That's why I give shouts out to them, because they are at least bold enough to come up here and say what they mean. For those that haven't reached that level of assurity yet, don't worry, your day is coming and we welcome you. Take the red, welcome. What?
Welcome to the real world.
That's the only thing that's going to save you, ladies, is welcoming yourself to truth in the real world. What you ladies must understand, and something tells me that many of you will wind up reading this, is the cat is out the bag with receipts to go with it. We non-select guys are on to you, and we will not be deterred by the tactics of the past. Better for you to simply fess up and be cool with what you get, because there will be no bailout anymore. Be that directly or indirectly, the latter of which I will discuss in a future column. So stay tuned. And we're done. Ooh, why black women can't afford the high price of select fuckboys. Oh my God, that is Monday. Jeez Louise. Let's get back. Done. 2 hours and 20. We've been live for 2 hours. So we read that in 2 hours. Nice, easy work. 4 chapters. Easy work. We're 10% done with the book. We'll be done with this whole entire book by the end of the month. We'll be done by the end of the month. We'll be done by the end of the month. Shout out to you guys. I appreciate you guys. Before the Billions is in the house. What up, man? Before the Billions says, isn't the drug dealer also a gangster? No, not necessarily. No, not necessarily. Not necessarily. It's often good to be gangster if you're going to deal drugs, but there's levels to drug activity, brother. No, not everybody. But I see where you're coming from. Did somebody please email me that video link, or DM me that video link to where the kids is on the street asking random women, black women especially, who you want, the drug dealer, the gangster, or the nerd? It's funny that some of them even said the one that they should say, and then turn around at the end and say, no, I'm going back to. Jeez Louise. Yes, before the Billions, you need to read more on stream. You damn right. You absolutely, yes, you should. I can't do it all. I can't do it. You know, Uncle Stu is getting ready to start a book club too. Yes, you should read. Absolutely. There's, you know, I can't serve everybody, brother. I need more. We need more. So we need more content creators. We need more YouTubers to do this kind of stuff. We can talk the same talking points and blah, 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 and all that kind of stuff. But the people want variety. I know I'm a small channel. I have a small select group of people that pay attention to me. I'm only like 3,000 something followers, where some people got 30,000, 300,000. You know, I just kind of want to do it a little different. And hopefully, and don't get me wrong, I do want to get to 30,000, 300,000. I just want to do that by helping y'all get rich. Rich in your relationships and rich in your bank account. And I'm doing it, and this method is what I choose to do. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to do no controversy. I don't want no gang banging online. I don't want no Twitter fingers and shit. We're not doing that over here. So yes, Before the Billions, read, man. Hell yeah. I was on your show the other day. You was reading the article word for word, and then you had a vote that was like, yo, is reading boring or something like that? I was like, hell nah, keep reading. I voted on that vote, on that poll. Shout out to you, Before the Billions. Shout out to you, Before the Billions. I appreciate you guys being here, man. Thank you so much. Does you guys want to have a discussion? Anybody want to come up? Does anybody want to come up? If you guys want to come up, let me know now, or forever hold your peace. Jerry. Everybody throw your ones up.
Being number one isn't easy.
Everybody throw your ones up to Sherry Fairley. She's a soldier in the SR Army and is now a co-stream sponsor. Let me add her name. Let me add her name. What does Sherry say? Sherry says, Shan, loving this reading and your sidebars. I'll keep it up, Sherry. At first, I was going to cut out the sidebars and just be like a robot and just read. Like, you know. I had asked you guys, like, are the sidebars making it hard for you guys to get through this shit? You know, do you want me to just be a robot and just read the chapters? Don't talk about them. Don't say nothing. Don't give any context. Don't tell you my experiences or my history or anything like that. Just read. Y'all was like, nah, man, we love the sidebars. You said, nah, Shan, just keep the sidebars going. I got so much history in this seat. Look how big my head is. So I have a larger than normal cranium. I got a melon head. It's a big ass brain in there, and my hard drive is big. I got a lot of information in this motherfucker. Look at this head. Look at it. I was blessed with a big head. That's a blessing. I got a lot of information up there, man. So at my sidebars, I got something for every paragraph, really. I got something for every paragraph. So shout out to you, Shirley. Thank you so much.
Being number one isn't easy.
Thank you for being part of the SR Army, and thank you for your not subscription. Thank you for your contribution, your investment, and your blessing into this channel. I appreciate you. Sherry is now one of our sponsors to the show. All right, cool. So we're not gonna have a dialogue. That's fine. That's fine. But you guys can always say, if you ever want to come up, we can always open up the lines if you ever want to discuss something in particular. I appreciate you guys. What you saying? Me too. Yo, what y'all talking about? See, I had to go back and read the chat, see what y'all was talking about. I gotta go back and read the chat and see what y'all was talking about. Thank you, everybody, for pulling up. Thank you, everybody, for pulling up. Let's go check the contest winner. All right, let's pick a winner. The winner is Miss Drea. Miss Drea is the winner of this contest. Miss Drea is the winner of the contest. See, it says it in the system. Miss Drea is the winner of the contest. Miss Drea is the winner of the contest. Ladies and gentlemen, what I do is I do a contest every live. All you got to do is type salute in the chat.
Sir, yes, sir.
Salute.
Ma'am, yes, ma'am.
Salute.
Sir, yes, sir.
It's too late to type it now. We already picked the winner. Miss Drea is the winner. Shout out to you, Miss Drea. Appreciate you, love. I appreciate you. Miss Drea is the winner. We're going to have a contest later on. I'm going live later on. Thank you, everybody, for showing up and showing out. Shout out to the chat. I'm going to have the best. Okay, I went live yesterday on a guest channel, a really great channel. I went live on a really great channel yesterday. Brothers had me. When I go live on other people's shows, I don't look at the chat because I know the chat will influence the things that I say. I don't want to be influenced. I want to give it to you guys. When I go live on a show, I want to tell you what I think. I want to be influenced by what I say. So I don't typically pay attention to the chat. And them brothers told me that the army showed up. I was so happy. I was holding it in because I was on somebody else's show, but I was just like, damn, for real? He stopped the show for a full minute to say, Shan, your people is here. One, I didn't know I had people. I really don't have people. We're a family, right? I'm just the spokesperson. We're really kind of like a family. I'm just the agent of due process. I'm just the spokesperson. But he said, your family, your people showed up and they over there talking about you and they loving on you and they shouting you out. Man, shout out to my friends, you guys. I appreciate you. I was like trying to keep it up. I was like, okay. Because oftentimes when I be talking on these panels, I be thinking that people be talking shit about me. Because I say things that, I say the truth, but the truth is not necessarily popular. And it rubs some people the wrong way. And so I'll be like, I know that chat is eating my ass up. But if I go there, it's gonna make me say something that I don't want to say. So I kind of stay away from it. So I just talk my shit. And I haven't even gone back to it and look. But he said that because when I went and it ended, it was still processing. You know, YouTube doesn't process the chat for a couple hours. That's why you can't see the live chat as soon as a live stream is ended. YouTube is processing the video. It's processing it, like you could watch it, but you're only watching it in standard definition. The high definition version is processing and the live chat is processing. It's attaching all the posts to the right timestamp. And so it takes a couple hours. So I hadn't watched it, but shout out to you guys that came and supported me on that show. I saw you guys, he was popping up, some of them on the screen, but shout out to you guys that came in on the show. I think on my channel, the chat is becoming lit as a motherfucker, and you guys are going to surpass a lot of these other larger channels, even when I'm not as large as them. So I appreciate you guys. And don't forget, remember, I don't forget the people who was with me in the beginning. I don't forget. In fact, I started to make it like a little list, like it's called like a day one list. Like this person has been rocking with me. This person is rocking with me. This person has been always. So I need to continue that list because you guys, I appreciate you guys. People that's you guys are just holding me up. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Exactly, M. Mills. If my name comes up, you follow. That feels good. That tells me that this isn't all in vain. I'm not wasting my time. Cause see, I could be over at Facebook talking shit. I could be at Instagram putting up funny memes. I could be at Clubhouse fighting motherfuckers and making people follow me like that. But over here, I'm telling you guys what I think. Unabashedly. It's like I could say something and who's gonna say something back? That's not the case. At Facebook, I got the comment section. I could say something and then I gotta read the comments. At Instagram, you can pay attention to the likes and read the comments. At Clubhouse, there's who's coming up I got a little pushback on that. Over here, it's just me. I don't really have panels of people. I mean, we do, especially in our we do, especially in our war room. But you guys kind of just want to like listen to what Shannon has to say. So it makes me feel good. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys. Listen, Monday, we're back at Rich People Read. Monday, we are back continuing at Rich People Read, where we will read chapters 9, 10, 11, and 12. On Monday, we read chapters 9, 10, 11, and 12. On Wednesday, we'll read chapters 13, 14, 15, and 16. And on Friday, we read 17, 18, 19, and 20. We'll be halfway through the book by next Friday. I want you guys to make sure you set your alarms. I'm gonna put up all of next week's. I want you guys to, you know how it says reminder? Hit the reminder on the video. Say reminder on, so you'll get notified. I want you to already hit the bell on subscribing to my channel, but also be reminded. Also be reminded of the individual lives that are coming up. Okay? Monday, we continue to read, you guys. I appreciate everybody for being here. Love you guys. I really do mean that. My name is Mr. Shannon Rawls. Thank you for reading along with us. And remember that reading is the way to expand your mind and body and your bank account. And you, my friends, are dismissed.
Yeah. Escucha. Mío en tu habitación, solo los 2 segundos que hay que detener. Porque si no siento tu voz o tu olor, te extraño y te quiero ver. Quiero ver.
Hey, before the video,
me falta. Todas las noches tan soñadas.
So I'll catch you next time. We can go live again before the video. I'll come
Me haces falta, bebé. Dime qué tengo que hacer pa' tenerte de una vez, pa' no poderte perder. Dulce, eres mi bombón. Te quiero melocotón. Por ti corro un maratón. Solo de la dirección. Tú y yo, queriendo más amor. Pa' mí no es suficiente. Yo quiero tu calor. Tú y yo, con esa conexión. Somos lo que la gente no ha visto de los dos. Tanto me falta. Todas esas noches tan soñadas. Somos perfectos, es algo indiscutible. Mi estilo y tu estilo no están disponibles. Solo soy sensible cuando te tengo porque eres irresistible. Tus labios combinan con tus ojos, porque eres tan pretty que hasta yo de eso miento. Chica, necesito mis anteojos. Quiero verte en noche hermosa de todos modos. Tú y yo, queriendo más amor. A mí no es suficiente. Yo quiero tu calor. Tú y yo, con esa conexión. Somos lo que la gente no ha visto de los dos. Tanto me falta. Todas esas noches tan soñadas. Que me levantes a mirar. Tú tienes pinta de indicada. Tanto me falta. Todas esas noches tan soñadas. Que me levantes a mirar. Tú tienes pinta de indicada.